Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
Powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. This is the Morning Sports Desk. I'm CJ Baumgartner, Corey Tackman over there. And Corey, we got ourselves a special guest for a really unique twist on our show today.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun here today, CJ. Daryl Tumberg is in the building. Daryl, your very first podcast experience, how do you feel?
Excited as can be.
I can see it on your face. It oozes excitement.
I probably won't sleep for a couple of days. Took my first nap of the day today.
So we'll do a full introduction of Daryl and what he means to the Morning Sports Desk here and what we've got going on. We've got something special planned for Daryl here in just a little bit. But before we get into that, let's just dive into Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena, where especially on a Wednesday, you want to come on in, calling out all the ranchers, make it a buffet day, and get double points today and every Wednesday with the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. You know how the buffet works. Create a plate of the yummy goodness they provide with the crispy chicken, with the delicious pizza, the great sides or fresh salad, and some amazing desserts as well. Double points a Wednesday at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. And as we know, CJ, with the FunZone Arcade, go in, play the games, earn points in the Fun Zone, and you might get yourself a very cool prize. One of those prizes being a mystery jersey, which what leads us into why Daryl is here today. I don't know if you know this, CJ knows this, but for our Morning Sports Desk people, Daryl just retired, but Daryl was very instrumental and worked with Pizza Ranch and Zach at Pizza Ranch for many, many years, and the Keldermans in general, and was very instrumental in getting Pizza Ranch on board with the Morning Sports Desk. And as a part of his retirement, Zach said, I've got a very special present here for Daryl. We're going to give him one of these mystery jerseys, but there's a stipulation to this. Daryl, one of the games we played all the time, and you played for like almost 30 years, was Dead or Alive, where we would give you a name, and you had to guess if that person was with us or no longer with us.
Correct.
Well, we are going to play the Dead or Alive mystery jersey unboxing with you today.
With one name.
So these jerseys come from the FunZone Arcade. They are they have baseball jerseys, CJ, right? They have basketball, they have a football, they've got hockey.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a baseball one for Daryl from Zach. And these are guaranteed, they're autographed.
Yep.
And they're guaranteed an all-star level player or higher.
Okay.
The two previous times we've done these, Daryl, we've got Mookie Wilson most recently, and Wade Boggs was the first time.
Okay.
Like one of the top 10 hits leaders all time in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
Unbelievable player. So before we get into this mystery baseball jersey and mystery player, we have to know, do you think this player is going to be dead or alive?
Alive.
You think alive?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want to maybe venture a guess? We always like to guess who we think, just to see if we're right. Do you want to maybe venture a guess on an American League or National League, or do you have a team, or do you have a player that maybe would be cool?
Freddie Lynn, Boston Red Sox, American League player.
Wow. Okay.
All right. What's the logic behind that?
There is none.
Good.
I thought of him, and I think he'd probably still be alive.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, 75 was a big year for Freddie Lynn.
Okay.
So I think, I'm guessing he made his first appearance in the American League in 74, but I know 75 was a huge year for him and the Red Sox.
That's really good. CJ, do you have a guess?
I'm just going to go to my previous guess, which I'm just hoping for at this point, would be an autographed Vlad Guerrero Expos jersey.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be good. Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go with Atlanta Braves Rafael Furcal.
I would like to be Juan Marichal, my favorite baseball player of all time, who started pitching for the Giants in 1960, threw a one-hitter in his major league debut.
Wow. Before you do this, Daryl, I do want to say, now that you are retired, I know you don't use computers a ton, but there is a website called Baseball Reference that you would just enjoy very much.
Oh,
You can just search the name of all these players and it pulls up their entire stats.
Ooh, I love stats.
Their baseball card for their entire career.
Yeah.
So if we have who is the one, Marshall, is that who you said? Marichal. That exactly. So that's pulled up here, and then I can pull them up on our screen right now, and you can just
baseball card of all time.
Yeah, it's the biggest baseball card ever. It's got, when he was drafted, where he's from, his major league debut, his career statistics, every single season. It tells you when he led the league in a certain category and things like that, over which teams he played for. I know you're not a big computers guy, but if you were going to make any time at all in retirement, you should just make it specifically for Baseball Reference.
You could learn how to use a computer in retirement.
There's a thought.
All right, CJ, what do you say? We've got our guesses in. Should we let Daryl get this thing open, start opening up the box?
Let's do this thing.
All right, Go ahead. You can put that mic down. Just right there is fine. And all right, so he guessed American League. You guessed National League.
Mm-hmm.
I guessed National League. There we go. I will say white jersey right out of the gate.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. I was almost right. You can open up that bag. I got the correct team.
Ooh, okay. So before he pulls it up, can I re-guess?
Yes, you can.
Okay, it's got to be I'm going to say Chipper Jones.
Great guess. Incorrect guess. Daryl, why don't you turn that around and hold that towards the camera?
Oh.
And Atlanta Braves, David Justice jersey.
Old man Justice? Oh, my.
And then look at this. This is the first time we've seen this. We got the number, but it also has David Justice stitched on the
run trot.
On the pocket. That thing is super cool.
Yeah. 1991 World Series loser, David Justice.
There, grab that mic again now, Daryl. That's super cool. Do you have any David Justice memories?
Not even one.
Okay. All right.
91 World Series.
All right, here we go. So this is where Baseball Reference is going to come in handy for us here. We're going to just pull up a couple David Justice things. He was Rookie of the Year in his first career season, which was 1989.
Okay.
He was Rookie of the Year that year. He was a 3-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, 2-time Silver Slugger, and was the ALCS MVP. I'm going to guess that was with the Yankees back in 2000 or 2001, kind of roughly in that area. So David Justice was drafted by the Atlanta Braves in the 4th round of the 1985 draft out of out of Thomas More University, which is in Crestview Hills, Kentucky.
You knew that. That's where that was, right, Daryl?
Wrong.
Well, now you do.
Indeed.
He made his debut on May 24th of 1989. He was 23 years old and 40 days. He was the 15,611th player in Major League history.
Okay.
Just a cool number.
That's cool.
He went 1 for 5 in his big league debut with no home runs, no runs batted in, no stolen bases. His last game ever was with the Texas Rangers in 2002, where he had, was against the Texas Rangers in 2002 when he played for the Oakland A's, where he went 1 for 3 with an RBI. And if you've ever seen the movie Moneyball, he is one of the main characters in the movie because he's in the last season of his career, and they bring him in because they think they can get one more good year out of him.
He's like the linchpin to that whole storyline. All right, important questions here. First of all, Daryl said alive.
Yes.
Which he is. He is still alive. Congratulations, you're 1 for 1 in retirement. Sorry, the record starts over in retirement.
Okay, sure.
This is a what have you done for me lately sort of game.
It certainly is, yes.
All right, let's get some of the career batting average, career home runs, career hits, RBI. Let's just get some of those for Daryl because those are the ones that he likes the most.
I love that kind of info very much.
He had a career 279 batting average. He had over in his career 1,571 hits. He had 305 home runs.
Okay,
had 1,017 RBIs. And had an on-base percentage of 378, a slugging of 500, which gives him an on-base plus slugging of 878.
So there you go.
Thank you.
Bona fide all-star autographed Atlanta Braves David Justice jersey.
I recognize that name.
And now, okay, so you're a half a week into retirement. What do you think?
I love it.
Yeah?
I just love
Remember
it.
how nervous you were a week ago?
I do. And I was sick for more than half of July.
Right.
So I didn't get to enjoy my last few days, which I feel badly about. But that first full day of retirement, that was the best I'd felt in a long time.
Great.
Wow. I just couldn't believe it.
Amazing.
But before we move away from 1991, when the Twins played the Braves, this is one of the weirdest things ever in sports. In that, in 1990, the Braves and the Twins both finished in last place. 1 year later, they're in the World Series.
Wow.
That's going to happen again.
Never.
Come on.
Never.
Weird.
Weird.
Yes.
And it ended up being one of the best World Series of all time.
Yes, it did.
And remind me again, was Ron Gant safe or out?
He was called out, but he was safe.
Nope.
Oh.
Did he lift his leg up off the base? Yes, Herbeck lifted his leg up off the base because the manager of the Braves ran into Herbeck some years later, and he said, "You lifted his leg up." That's what he told Herbeck.
As my wife would say to Ron Gant, sucks to suck.
Ron Gant just needed to get his leg a little stronger.
He wasn't expecting his leg to be lifted off the base. You're out of there, buddy.
Got to be prepared for anything.
How many home runs did Lonnie Smith hit in that World Series?
Lonnie Smith, 3.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, Daryl, congratulations. We're glad you're enjoying retirement so much.
So good.
Enjoy that David Justice jersey.
I will.
Find yourself like a nice frame and hang that thing up in your man cave when you're listening to all the music.
It's
all
a
right.
Great idea.
And
We're just going to wear it around.
yeah, or just wear
I
it.
can do that too. Yeah.
And that don't take this the wrong way, but you got to leave so we can finish the rest of this podcast.
I didn't think I'd be on this podcast for this long. I was telling people it might last 60 seconds. It might last 3 minutes. I don't know how many rabbit holes are going to go down.
How about one last question before we let Daryl get out of here? This is Vikings related now because we're going to talk Vikings here in a second.
10 and 7 this year.
10-7 is Daryl's prediction. All right, good. That's what I was going to ask you.
Okay.
Love it.
And
All
how
right.
about- what are your guys' predictions on the Vikes?
Oh, I think I said they're going to win. I think I put like 12 games or something like that.
Okay.
I think they could win anywhere from 3 to 11 games.
Do they have a tough schedule?
Don't know.
Okay.
They do not play the AFC South this year, which they did last year, which helped their record. They play the NFC East and the AFC North, I believe, this year.
So yeah,
Okay.
it's not that's not the breeze over schedule.
Are we going to finish ahead of the pack?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'll say yes to that anytime.
Even
Okay,
if they only have 3 wins, they'll finish ahead of the pack.
Yeah. And I sure hope Jared's listening.
Yeah.
If we ever had a season where we were 2-15, but both wins were against the Packers, I would count that a successful season.
It would be. It'd be very fun to joke with them about that.
It certainly would. I think you guys have a podcast to finish, don't you?
We'll finish it up. Don't leave though. I want to take a picture of you.
Okay.
And again, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm having the time of my life.
All right, Daryl. Welcome back on the podcast anytime.
All right. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks, Daryl. We'll let you slip out of here, grab that jersey, and then you just do your thing. Don't go anywhere so we can snag a picture. CJ, I'm going to help organize here. So go ahead and get us going.
All right, so we are going to talk a little Minnesota Twins. We're going to talk a little Minnesota Vikings because, well, the Minnesota Vikings play their first preseason game coming up on Saturday. And by the way, you can hear that game on the Superstation K106. 105.9 FM is where you can hear the Minnesota Vikings all season long on your radio. And yeah, I know you typically want to sit down and watch those games, but it's preseason. Who really cares? You just want to make sure that you kind of understand what happened. And that's why you do whatever you do. You're at the lake, you're cleaning out the garage, you do whatever. And then you just have the old Vikings radio covering you and letting you know if any big plays happen. That's what I do. And then I go back to YouTube and then I see kind of the big highlights of the preseason games. I don't need to carve out my afternoon for the Vikings preseason game. Let me put it to you that way. But we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about a key member of the 20 Teens Vikings who announced his retirement yesterday. And, JJ McCarthy news on how much he will be playing in the preseason game, and for Minnesota Twins related, just how one specific player who came back yesterday can help breathe life into an organization. And I think that it's something that they're desperately going to need, not only so much for the Twins themselves, but also just for the fan base in general and things like that. So as we get ready here, do want to mention too, on the morning sports desk powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena, that we have some great big content stuff that is coming next week, the week after, and the lead up to the high school sports season. It's all coming together. It's all happening. Corey, we're doing what we in the broadcast business call a tease. There's going to be some great high school sports content coming in the next few weeks, and you should have your eyes and ears and mouth and nose and everything out for it, right?
Let me just add on to the hint a little bit and where you need to keep those eyes and ears. And did you say mouths?
Yeah.
And
nose, whatever, your elbows. I don't know, whatever you feel like is necessary.
#moo.
Moo.
We got a lot of stuff coming on the #moo.
We got on the #moo. Moo.
How nice was that jersey?
Awesome. David Justice is a good pull.
Really good pull.
Really good pull. 1991 World Series loser. Did he you kind of like in the movie? The movie tells you when you watch Moneyball, because I'm assuming that's how most people my age know who David Justice is. When you watch the movie Moneyball, they tell you he's old, but that can mean a lot of different things in sports. You don't realize how old he was until you realized he made his big league debut in 1989, and he was playing in 2002.
Yeah.
So he was at the end of a 13-14 season career. He made his big league debut when he was 23 years old. So this guy's 36, 37, 30, he is an old baseball player. And
he was legit too. He was really, really a special ball player. And I think I'm going to make this argument right now. Everybody, when they think of a smooth lefty, they think of Ken Griffey Jr.
Mm-hmm.
That is the quintessential beautiful baseball swing. David Justice had that too. He was just a beautiful hitter. I was always a big David Justice fan. So I'm happy for Daryl, and Daryl has no idea who he is, and that makes it even funnier, I think.
So if you watch the 1991 World Series, he saw him play. So
you sure did.
A
heck of a career.
And it now ends with being strung above Daryl Tumberg's mantle. So
that's exactly right.
What a way to go. All right. So a couple of Minnesota sports things here before we get out of here for the day. One, Anthony Barr announced his retirement from the Minnesota Vikings.
This is going to be maybe a bold take here, CJ, but Anthony Barr was my favorite defensive player from those Vikings defenses. I just adored him. I thought he was maybe not the best defensive player, right? Harrison Smith is going to the Hall of Fame, and Eric Kendricks was a better linebacker. But I thought the biggest difference maker on that team, on those defenses, was Anthony Barr. What he could do as far as his speed and being able to, that was the era, right, where everybody had a Darren Sproles type, a Wes Welker type, a Reggie Bush, somebody who just out in the flats could embarrass defenses. You make people miss, you outrun everybody. And when Anthony Barr was on your defense, that guy meant absolutely nothing to your offense. It was just a one-on-one battle that Anthony Barr would win every single time. Nobody was faster than him, and you combined him with that size that he had. I thought he was the reason why in certain matchups against certain teams, against really good teams of that era, against the New Orleans Saints, for example, with a Reggie Bush, why it was not fine, because Anthony Barr is going to be the guy to chase him down from behind for a 1-yard gain on 3rd and 2. I just adored watching Anthony Barr play.
Mm-hmm. He was a really, really nice player. And like you said, Eric Kendricks kind of got, was seen as the better linebacker. There was Xavier Rhodes, who had Everson Griffin and Daniil Hunter on each end. It was just a studded group of defenders. But it always was really telling how Mike Zimmer always viewed Anthony Barr as like the linchpin for that unit. Like, so much so that they overpaid and re-signed him and all that kind of stuff. But like they felt like he was such an important part because he also, upon being all that physical stuff, was the green dot. He was the person who had the headset in the helmet, and he was calling plays in the huddle, which is not, and he's in charge of like relaying communication. Like, that guy's a quarterback on defense in that sense. And the fact that even though he didn't always, like, there was always like people who thought he should have just been an edge rusher. And, like, was his talent wasted just kind of sitting in the middle of the field as a linebacker? And I think that's a worthy conversation. But the fact that Mike Zimmer felt like this defense was irreplaceable without Anthony Barr on a loaded defensive unit shows you how important Anthony Barr was to like just those defenses in that era of Minnesota Vikings football. He was the first ever draft pick of the Mike Zimmer era. Like, he was kind of what they started building with. I know Rhodes and Smith were already there, but like, that was an important piece to kind of get things rolling and get things going. And it's just, his career was kind of never the same when he left Minnesota. It was kind of already on the downswing by the time he left. But when he was at his peak, he was really, really good.
It's also kind of a strange thing too, CJ, when you go through it. I'm a little older than you, so I'm a little farther down the line, but other athletes of your era have started to go through this. In particular, I think of Joe Mauer. But when the athletes that you spent a lot of time watching, like very crucial,
like, you saw them come into the league.
Yeah, crucial moments of your growing up sports life, those players retire and then start making the Hall of Fame, and you look in the mirror or you look in the camera of your video podcast that you have with your coworkers, and you're like, my beard is a little grayer than it used to be. Like, you just have those are the moments for me. I don't have like, my kids are growing up, I'm getting older, or like I turned 40 at the end of the month. That's not ever been a thing that I've noticed my getting older. It's these sports characters that I've had in my life. When Peyton Manning retired, like, he was
the entire Holiday family get drafted.
The entire Holiday family, literally. So it's those sorts of things that are like, a very telling for a sports fan, the most telling of your age, when some of your favorite players, and I was beyond growing, I was in college when Anthony Barr was really doing his thing, but like, that dude's retired now. It's so crazy. I watched that guy's entire career start and finish. I'm getting old is what it means.
There's always a sneaky point, just a sneaky fact. When NCAA 14 came out, it was in the 2013-14 season, which was Anthony Barr's final year at UCLA. And if you look on the loading screen, you couldn't actually use the names of players because of NIL stuff just didn't exist back then.
Sure.
But you could build the exact player and just not use his name. And so there'd be a loading screen and you'd see two UCLA linebackers like trying to tackle a USC running back. And you looked and you're like, that is Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks. Like,
right.
They're on the loading screen because you just see this big linebacker for UCLA wearing number 11. I remember Anthony Barr specifically because that 2014 draft, I was in high school, but it was such a, like, you knew they were drafting a quarterback, new head coach. Like, the franchise was just going through like kind of this retooling process, and it's fascinating how many different directions they could go. And the draft was really fun that year. And I was following that draft to a T. I was like on players. I was like everything. And like Anthony Barr getting drafted, I saw that, like, I watched that draft and the draft pick and like all that stuff. Like, I would rewatch the draft broadcast over the summer when I was bored because I wanted, like, okay, how is this going to come together? What are they saying about Anthony Barr? Like, all of this stuff. And to see like that come to fruition and now he's done is just a little weird.
He hasn't played for a couple of seasons. His last snaps were taken in 2023, and
he came back to the Vikings, didn't he?
I think so, yeah. And
he's like a practice squad player.
Those guys hold on for a little bit. It's very rare that a guy gets a ceremonious send-off. It's typically unceremonious, and this is one of those. And Anthony Barr is like, he's not going to be a Hall of Famer. He's not. He's like, but Vikings fans and hopefully other NFC North division fans are going to be like, I hated Anthony Barr. And Vikings fans are going to remember him very, very fondly.
Packers fans will say that because remember when they sent him death threats for breaking Rodgers' collarbone?
I was at that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two things that I remember from that game was Anthony Barr breaking Aaron Rodgers' collarbone, and then Laquan Treadwell making a catch late in that game. The game was very over, and Laquan Treadwell was playing. And he made a catch where 80,000 people at the same time went, "Ooh," and made that sound. Like, it was such an unbelievable catch. And people talk about like when 80,000 people erupt, like being at the Minneapolis Miracle, right? How crazy that would have sounded. It would have been deafening. But to hear 80,000 people at once go, "Whoa," was like I will never hear anything like that ever again. That was really cool.
Yeah, it's just that audible, like, oh, like weird kind of noise where like everybody does it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then that was the only catch he ever proceeded to make.
Pretty much his only catch.
Speaking of which, he, by the way, is like still on NFL rosters like over the last couple of years. So
he sure is.
If you're just willing to hang around,
does he play for Indy?
Let me look it up because Laquan Treadwell on Pro Football Reference has played. He was on an NFL roster last year for the Colts. Yeah. He was in Baltimore in 2023, Seattle in 2022, Jacksonville in 21, Atlanta in 2020. Is
he working out with anybody?
I don't know. It was always Laquan Treadwell is always, you talk about draft cases. Remember, he was a guy that needed to work on route running.
That's never good.
But then the TV state, and he hurt his ankle in college. Like, I think he had like a bad injury in college that definitely didn't help him. But he was just a guy that never got it, in the sense of like, there'd be like video of him and like reporters would be like, Laquan Treadwell is running stairs after practice and like hitting the jugs machine and things like that after practice. And it's like, my guy, running up the stairs and down, it's cool for your conditioning, but that's not helpful. Like, you're working hard, but not smart. Like,
there are some things with players and different positions that are telltale, right? And I will take a guy who is maybe not as good at everything else as long as he runs routes well.
Running routes is
important. You just like, turns out you have to run routes.
You have to be able to shake defenders. And most of the time you are not just going to be 100% athletically better than them. So you're going to need to figure out a way to create separation.
Correct. Not everybody's going to be as fast as Tyreek Hill. But the thing that makes Tyreek Hill so dangerous is that guy runs routes like a mofo. On top of it, Laquan Treadwell never ran routes and then wasn't faster than anybody. And then by the
way, two receivers who passed Laquan Treadwell in the wide receiver hierarchy in a year were two receivers who were some of the best route runners of their generation in Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs.
Correct.
Like, those guys could run routes and get open.
He is in camp with the Colts again.
All right. There's something to be said. If you're willing to stick around and do it.
He's probably the one making Danny Dimes look so good right now.
Probably.
Oh, God. I got to listen to Danny Dimes conversations this whole preseason. It's so annoying.
It's all right. Nobody cares about the Colts enough to talk about it. People haven't cared about the Colts since the day Andrew Luck retired.
But I've seen it. That's what's ridiculous. Look at this guy. This guy's meant to lead an offense. It's like a 7-on-7 out route.
Look at him. Look at him. He can complete a pass.
The reason it stands out
is 3 plays in a row without going.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
It stands out because Anthony Richardson is the other guy throwing those balls, and he can't do it.
Hey, remember, Kevin O'Connell was infatuated with Anthony Richardson. So there's an alternate universe where the Vikings draft him and sit behind Cousins.
I'm irrational. If Anthony Richardson is on this team, I think it's a better situation for him. Yeah. I think it works out.
Speaking of the quarterback the Minnesota Vikings have, J.J. McCarthy will play in the preseason game on Saturday, which will be on the Superstation K106, by the way, 105.9 FM. 3 o'clock kickoff, 2 o'clock pregame, somewhere in there. And he's going to play. How much? O'Connell didn't say, probably because you don't want to put a specific number and then have him go out later because you want to see more and then it looks bad. But McCarthy will play, which is kind of a break from what O'Connell typically likes to put important players in bubble wrap in the preseason.
As he should.
But if you remember, Sam Darnold did play he had the opening drive last year in the first preseason game. And then O'Connell was like, that's enough. And then never played him in the preseason again.
Right.
We'll see what happens. But This will be the first JJ McCarthy in pads in a, for lack of a better term, real setting in 12 months. How kind of what is the proper way to look at his preseason? Like, obviously you don't need to take too much stock into it, but what's the proper way just to enjoy JJ McCarthy football on Saturday?
Don't watch. Don't watch the game. Just don't watch it. So that way, if it's not good, and you hear from other people that it's not good, you can be like, yeah, well, it was the first preseason game in in a year. It's fine. If it was good, you can watch the highlights and you can take all of that. Like, the best way to experience the JJ McCarthy early experience is to just not take it all in secondhand. So when it's good, you can revel in that
on the radio. And then if it sounds cool, watch it on YouTube.
And then when it's bad, you can ignore it because those people who are talking about it are a bunch of idiots. Can I tell you, I have live and real reporting from Vikings training camp. Would you like to read?
Who is your live and real reporter? Can you name sources?
This comes from an unnamed source.
Ooh, all right.
Who I went to college with.
Okay. Was he there when JJ McCarthy got in the fight?
Quote, at Vikings training camp, McCarthy might not be good. That's how it starts.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, tell me everything, please. What are we doing? Somebody else butted in on the text thread that said he was listening to K-Fan, and K-Fan was joking how they're going to win the Super Bowl because of all the pick sixes they had against McCarthy. So the defense is allegedly very, very good. And then the breakdown goes like this. Missed Addison on a crossing route, overthrew Addison on a corner, overthrew an intermediate route, probably would have been sacked 5 times, couple nice checkdowns, resorted to running a lot, and then said actually took a coverage sack, which is hilarious when the defense isn't allowed to touch you. And then a couple of nice checkdowns. So that is the live reporting from Vikings training camp from an unnamed source who is a college roommate of mine.
All right. So are you panicking, Corey?
No, I don't care at all about any of it. I don't care. I don't care about any of it. I'm trying to, I always try to be reasonable about this. And I always try to disclaimer it, like, because Vikings fans take it personally when you don't care about it. I am a Vikings fan, by the way. And like, you heard me, I was the one who said, tell me everything. So it's not like I'm not interested, but it doesn't matter.
You also don't need to live and die on every practice.
And also, maybe that throw was the throw he was told to make no matter what, even if it wasn't the read.
Right.
And sometimes you just have to practice that throw. Not missing the throw, is that good? No. But like, this is your throw here. This is the one we're going to try to get. So throw that ball, because at some point we're going to need you to hit it. Your actual route is over here, but we're setting up this. So that in the fourth quarter, to start our opening drive of the fourth quarter, we can get back in the game. That's the throw we need. I just don't. Those are the things we just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And also, if the Vikings defense is good, well, let's see them against some not as good defenses and see where he reacts. This is why, like, the Vikings preseason game will be a bunch of vanilla, and the real thing will even be the joint practices against I believe the Patriots next week. Those are going to be kind of the bigger thing of how do they look when it's now you're throwing to your receivers who are being covered by not teammates and things like that. So it'll be the next kind of week. We'll have much more stock than the week previous and all that kind of stuff. But it'll be good just to see JJ McCarthy again. Can he get through a preseason game without tearing his meniscus? That'll be question number 1.
If everything was, this is not good, right? Like, if that was all of the reporting, then your ears have to perk up a little bit. They just have to. But if everything is good, you can't believe it because it's just propaganda from people who are fans and excited, or a team that is trying to sell tickets and sell. Like, you just can't believe that. Anything other than anything other than that, you just can't. It just doesn't mean anything.
Right. Exactly.
The only thing that can actually mean something is when everybody consensusly believes that this is not good.
Well, I don't know. There was reporting. Colin Cowherd had on Diana Rossini of The Athletic, and she said that they've been helping McCarthy. They've said they've been kind of holding McCarthy's hand a lot this training camp. I don't really care what the national heads have to say. I'll follow the local reporting. I haven't necessarily heard that.
He's a rookie.
Essentially.
It's a non-story.
Right.
Holding this guy's hand through how to, like, of course he's I mean, he's learned the playbook, but like, this is his first time. He's essentially a rookie. Of course they're helping him through this. That's a non-story.
Right. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, once you get into game settings, they were able to win games with Josh Dobbs at quarterback. And this is a much better roster than when Josh Dobbs was the quarterback. I think they're going to beat.
And he's a better quarterback than Josh Dobbs.
Right. It's going to figure itself out. Maybe McCarthy's bad. Maybe he's not that good. I don't know, but you don't know either. And we don't need to project on reporting on August 5th.
We're also not saying he's good.
Right.
That's the hard.
McCarthy's going to come in and be like Josh Allen, Mahomes, like Lamar, like you're kidding yourself.
Brock Purdy even. That was insane what that guy did. Probably not, man. He's probably not going to be that. But we're not saying he's not going to be that. That's the thing is every time you talk about this, especially with football, when you talk about like, well, it's just not this. You assume it's the other. The assumption is always, well, you mean the other thing. And it's not what we mean.
Exactly. It's a tough balancing act to try and figure this stuff out, but until you see actual games, but even the first couple games of McCarthy's career, once we actually get to September, we're going to need like half a season before we can really, and even if you want to go further, Jordan Love with the Packers, the first half of his first season a starter, he looked awful. And then he turned it around and they were one drive away from going to an NFC championship game. So
I think it goes farther than that, right? I think CJ Stroud had an unbelievable rookie season, and it was weird in year 2.
His offensive coordinator was fired in year 2.
It was we're still the official word on CJ Stroud isn't even out yet. We think it's going to be good, but
right. I mean, everybody talks about, Bo Nix was so good his rookie year. Now NFL teams had a whole offseason to game plan against him and tape, and you don't know. People
still don't know about Justin Herbert, and most people think Justin Herbert is good, but there's still enough that hasn't happened for that guy.
Right.
I don't know. So we've got, I don't know, a half a decade to figure this out.
Exactly. Just we don't need to make Russia. There's this thing you can do in sports just called wait and see.
Yep.
We'll see.
It's a less interesting conversation.
How can I get my hot takes off?
But look at us. We just turned that into a 5-minute conversation. So good for us.
All right. Ready for my hot Twins take?
Yeah.
Luke Keaschall's good.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm down with that. I don't need to wait anymore.
That guy, I've seen him in 4 games. He's the franchise savior.
Yeah, there's a part of me when the Harrison Bader hit a home run the other night for the Phillies that was like, oh man, I needed a Harrison Bader, Luke Keaschall combination on my team for just the second half.
More than 3 games.
That would have been really fun to just watch 2 bros run around chest bumping each other and being excited, just yelling like baseball, just being baseball bros. But since that's not the case, I'm also excited that Luke Keaschall is at least still a part of it.
I think, by the way, Harrison Bader, when he was with the Twins, there's a picture of him with a t-shirt that said buck around and find out. Like Byron Buxton on it. That guy's t-shirt game will be severely missed.
Yes, it will be.
Because I would want to buy a shirt that says buck around and find out.
I know. Gosh dang it. Can we get Soda Stick on it anyway?
Could we please figure something out? All right. So, but with Keaschall, I think what's so important is he picked up the Royce Lewis gimmick of I came off the injured list and I'm going to immediately hit a bomb.
Right.
This is what he did. His first career home run, pulled it or hit it over to the left field fence, kind of in the bullpen area, hit the home run, instantly gave the Twins a lead. Then later in the game, worked to count full, slapped a single into left field, and drove home Jeffers. And obviously he's a guy that can steal some bases. His defensive range, I don't quite know what his future is going to be, but right now there's an opening at second base because Brooks Lee's your shortstop, and Keaschall is going to be your starting second baseman for the rest of the year. But what the thing is the thing that Keaschall coming back helps out most is, my goodness, Corey, the Twins needed anybody worth watching on that Twins team when Joe Ryan's not playing.
Yes.
You look at the lineup and you go,
Mhm.
oh, Keaschall's back. All right, well, I'm not going to watch the game, but like I'm going to poke in and see when he's coming up to hit, and then I'll watch his at bat, and then I'm going to go back to whatever else I'm doing.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
The fan base needs somebody desperately that they can kind of get behind as a player. And Luke Keaschall, the fan base kind of got behind him at the beginning. And then now for him to come back and see that, for the comeback and the fan base to see somebody who's exciting to watch, is just really something that the fan base desperately needs.
I just second everything you say. I don't have anything more intelligent to add on to that other than you're exactly right, because it's a pretty sad state of affairs. I'll tell you that I do on my radio show every Tuesday, this Twins Ticket Tuesday, and it's an opportunity to win a pair of Twins tickets. It's pretty cool. It just is like a code word thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was your current code word?
So I had a Tuesday and yesterday, and then I'll have one more next week. These are my last two that I'm right in between right now. And I presented yesterday's, and I'll present next week's the exact same way. Things are it's a pretty sad state of affairs for our favorite baseball team, but at least we can remember some of the good times. So Tuesday, my code word was 1987. And next week, I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert, it's going to be the other year. Because at least we can have if that's where you're at in your franchise, we're like, remember 1991? Wasn't that fun? You kind of need at least a player to root for. And we talked about it, right? We talked about Buxton. We talked about Royce. When Pablo is healthy, if he ever is going to be again this year, what's the point of rushing this now? Joe Ryan. Now, if we want to root for these guys, this is it. We can hang our hats on. At least we got Luke Keaschall. He's pretty fun.
Let me put to you a potential infield of Royce at third. You got Keaschall, let's say, moves to first base or something. You would then move Brooks Lee back to second, and your shortstop is Kalen Culpepper, who hit a bomb yesterday. And then starting in the outfield, you have Buxton on one end, Emmanuel Rodriguez on one, and you have Walker Jenkins, one of the top prospects in all of baseball. I sent you this video yesterday, Corey. He hit a home run. Did you see that swing? Just killed the ball.
He's pretty good at baseball.
Can't wait for him to get injured.
Oh, how dare you?
It's all right. He's already.
This is the other thing, though, right? Like, it's fun to get excited about these individual guys, but like Culpepper, maybe sooner than later, like 2026.
Yeah. They're not coming up this year, but like at some point in 2026.
Right. When he like gets his first taste.
Yep.
But we're talking 2027 for him, and by
then maybe the team has a new owner.
Yeah, right, exactly. But like Jenkins is at least that far away. Yeah. Jenkins is a full year removed from getting a taste like Culpepper might get as a September call-up.
Culpepper also played in college, where Jenkins came right out of high school.
So there's two, by the way. I think there are two Culpeppers in the Twins.
There's a CJ Culpepper, who is a pitcher.
Yeah.
Relation. I believe he's in AAA.
So I thought that was kind of interesting when I saw the top 10 prospects in the Twins organization, and there were two Culpeppers.
Well, we got two Culpeppers. Might as well sign Dante. Can't hurt. Maybe he can still throw. He can be a seventh inning setup man.
That's exactly right.
He'll just come off the mound after a big strikeout and go.
That'd be so awesome.
Be great.
So awesome.
The St. Paul Saints should do it, by the way, as a gimmick. I would go to that game.
We need more pimping things in baseball.
No, that gets you hit in the head.
Well, don't be a coward, and then don't be a sore loser.
No, you can't. It's always funny because I remember there was like a Chris Archer gave up a home run, and he thought a player pimped it. And so he threw at the guy, and he said, you don't pimp home runs. And then I instantly Googled Chris Archer highlights, and then there's him getting a big strikeout, and he goes, yeah! It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Only pitchers are allowed to celebrate big moments. The hitter's not allowed. Sorry, that guy took you 500 feet. He can admire it for a second.
I love baseball for so many reasons, CJ, and I hate it for almost as many, and this is definitely one of them.
It was Fernando Tatis, like his rookie year, maybe his second year in the league. He had a big home run, and I think he hit like a grand slam off a position player in a game that the Padres were blowing out, and the manager of the other team got mad. And Eric Hosmer, you could see, who was on the Padres at the time, was like giving him an earful, like, "Hey, we don't do that," blah blah. And you just see like the life leave his eyes, and everybody's like, "What are we doing? You put in a position player. Why are you mad that somebody's tanking off of him?"
I know.
Like, you're the one who's taking the L. Why are you mad that they're rubbing it in? You gave them salt. Why are you mad that they're using it in your wound? Like, I don't. Anyway, all right, that's a good baseball discussion for one day. We'll do this again.
Yep.
Thanks to Daryl and Pizza Ranch for making this possible.
No doubt.
And Old Man Justice.
Old man David Justice. You know what we're doing here. You get it. Set an example. Be a leader. I got you.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.